Hello everybody, welcome back to the Wilson Sports Network. Before we get started, I just wanted to say that this will be my last year interviewing, and I'd like to introduce the next hostess, which will be Marisa Schultz.
Hi.
Coach, now we're on our third year, and this time, are you ready for the hard-hitting questions?
I am.
All right. This year, the football team has moved down to Class D. How do you feel about the move?
The travel's been tough. It's two things were difficult. One, we're playing teams that we've never played before, so I had no background on anything that they did. And now, instead of us having an average bus time of maybe 30 to 35 minutes, it's now anywhere between an hour and a half, almost 2.5 hours. So the travel's been tough, but we're making the best of it, and we've been doing okay.
So far in the season, how has competition in the opponents in Class D differed from the opponents in Class C?
Well, you would think on paper that going down to D, since they're smaller schools, that it would be a lot easier, and that has been the exact opposite. We did very well in C North. I think we would have had a chance for a run at the championship of C North this year. And down at D, just the way they do the formula and with some of their merged schools, there are one elite team, 2 or 3 really, really good teams, and we sort of fit in that sort of middle area right now. So if we would have stayed at C North, I think we maybe would have had a little bit more success, maybe wins and losses. But in the future, at D specifically, those teams go up and down a lot. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of years.
Now, how do you see the rest of the season playing out?
Well, it's played out pretty much how I thought. I knew we would have a tough time against some of those top tier teams. We played them very tough, so they were good games. I had an idea that last week we were gonna be okay against Gowanda. I think tomorrow night, I think we got a good shot at beating Cataracts Lower Valley. We then have to travel to Randolph, which is probably one of the toughest teams in D, so that'll be a tough one. And then if we can finish off the season with 2 wins, we would be at 500 at 4-4, ready for the playoffs, and then anything can happen.
Now, this year, who are the key players?
It's as the offensive coordinator, I always look right at the quarterback right away. Connor Ernest has been playing well. Yourself has led the team in catches and in touchdowns. If anyone can go look on Huddle or our YouTube video, 2 of the nicest touchdown catches I've seen in the last couple of years. So, you two have been doing well. Jack Mahar, as our running back, had a good game last week. Finally got his legs under him. And then you can't really go anywhere without your O-line. They really start everything. And when you hear announcements and you even watch TV, you know who all the running backs and the receivers are. You never really talk about the line. But from Braden Lepsch to Justin Hoyt, Willie Workcutter, Hamza Merrick, and Brandon Martin, those 5 guys really, when we have success, they're playing really well. So those guys are doing well for us too.
Now, last year's team had 15 seniors. Has it been a challenge to replace them on the field?
It has. Now we're sort of even. I think we have 25 guys right now. I think it's 10 seniors, 15 juniors. So we did have a big junior class coming up. A lot of those guys are starters. And the senior class, which was small, we've had a couple guys add on playing as the years went on. So we have a good mix. You'll never replace guys that have played well, but we had guys fit into roles. And the one thing I like about it is our JV and our varsity teams practice together. Playbooks are the same. Terminology is the same. So if I have to pull someone up, or if a new guy comes in as a junior, or not new, but from JV, he knows exactly what the terminology is, and we usually don't skip a beat.
Now, you're at the midpoint of the season. What is one thing that you are pleasantly surprised with, and one thing you look to improve?
I think going back, and even the question you just asked about getting rid of 15 seniors and having to replace them, I've been surprised how people have filled some of those roles and been successful. I think the only thing maybe disappointing is we have always prided ourselves on being a passing team, and we run the ball and run it well, but pass when we need to, and we're successful. Right now, our completion percentage is under 50%. So I'd say that's one of our goals from here on out in the season, is try to just complete some more of those high percentage passes. Sometimes you only have a 10 or 20% chance of throwing that long ball down the field and have it be caught. But if we're going 5 yards, I think we should complete more of those, and that'll be our goal for the next couple games.
Now, what is your postseason outlook now that you're in Class D?
Well, you never know what's going to happen at Randolph, even though they're the #1 team. If we do fall to them and we're able to beat Frewsburg, that puts us in 5th place. That means we would have to travel down to Portville again for the 4th place team and the 5th place team. The winner there would play Randolph again for the sectional semis. If that doesn't go well for us and we end up losing in the playoffs, we would host they call it the Chuck Funky Bowl Series. So it's a sort of a sub-playoff system. We would be the top team for that, and we would be able to host 2 playoff games in that bracket if we ended up losing a playoff game. So really, we're in a win-win situation. If we're winning playoff games, we're doing well. I'll take it. If we do end up tripping up and not making and losing that first playoff game, we would then still have 2 home games and no 2-hour bus trips.
Now, your curveball question is, what is your favorite dessert at the team dinners?
Oh, man, we've had so many throughout the years. I am going to say probably one of my favorites is the newest one we had, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Mrs. Wolf made it. They brought it in, and it was a peanut butter layered fudge on the bottom, and it was a melted chocolate
Yes, it was.
frosting on top, and it was new and awesome. So that's my favorite, my most favorite recent one.
Well, thank you, Coach, for doing the interview with me, and welcome, Marissa, to doing interviewing.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.